These are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. So we're talking about the problem with the dating pool is women. This is what the young people are saying. What is wrong with those people? All right, they're just being people in 2022. We're going to help them. You and I together will help each other, right? If you're saying statements like this, if you're saying statements like the problem with the dating pool is women, you're precisely a simp. You're entitled to your intentions. Intentions are overrated. Your expectations are too high of women. Women are just women. They just are. You have to become. That's how the society is set up, especially when it comes to romance. All right. And there are benefits in there for you, but you're not going to get to the benefits if you keep whining and bitching and complaining. You won't. Okay. But let's react to this video. This video is from the long streams that Anton does on the weekend on the channel. Sometimes I stumble in for 3 minutes and I catch this crazy ass conversation going. I'm like, what is wrong with this? And here was one of those moments. Let's get into it.
The pool of women that men are dealing with, suddenly everybody wants to shift the goalposts. Why can't we focus on the fact that there's an issue in the dating pool when it comes to the women? We want to always shift.
When it comes to the women, they're always shifting goalposts. All right, so we've been shifting the goalposts. I've been listening to this conversation for at least a year, and we've been shifting this goalpost. Isn't it high time we realize that maybe the goalpost does not belong where you're trying to place it, right? Let's keep going.
Because you're not trying to date all women. You just need one.
Okay, so we're talking about the dating pool. You only need one woman. That's one of the problems right there. Right there is one of the problems. You have men. Now, I get it. They have some kind of experience that's not too, that's not too pleasurable. And then you now have an idea of what the women are supposed to be doing, right? And then you're justifying it by saying, hey, the community, nuclear family, women needs to move a certain way, right? And we're forgetting that you as an individual, right? You had an experience. You only need one woman, right? And you have the opportunity to ask questions from people that are doing it properly. But of course, you have data. You have empirical data that you want to argue about. And you rather argue about that than to actually learn the skill set. Because this is power play, right? This is actually a game, right? That requires skill set. You rather argue than actually ask questions, right? I get it. You're not going to listen until you fall flat on your face. You're just not going to listen. Let's keep listening.
Well, the reason why I do that specifically is because when we're talking about being
shout out to Mandrell on the panel.
It's a very clear path. People want to do, specifically men, and I think that it always starts at the head, want to do whatever it is that they want to do, and then they don't want to own the results that come along with it. The one thing that I've always...
That's a fact. We see... Anton, I have this love and hate relationship with his rhetorics. This part I agree with, like 50% of everything he says, right? About 50% or so, right? This conversation started with this gentleman, Omar Smith. Omar, shout out to Omar. Omar was on point. He was coming from the standpoint of Islamic. And this guy, JB, was trying to put him in a box. Was asking him a question, and the guy was like, there's no answer. He was trying to say, hey, what is the percentage? So how many women? And the guy's like, there's no percentage. It is the women follow you. They follow you. Either you realize it's not, even when they're emasculating you, they're basically following your move. If you're not sure of yourself as a man, if you're asking by bitching around a woman, if you're asking for permission to lead all the time, she will lead. You're basically asking her to lead. You're basically operating out of her frame, and she will effectively lead, because I'll tell you right now, you don't like to hear this. Femininity, right? The idea of submission, right, is conditional. Is that news flash to you? That's the reality. Oh yeah, I know there's a pastor that's trying to tell you that women are supposed to do it out of duty. Well, that's not the reality, okay? It's just not, okay? The woman is moving according to how you're moving, right? to a large extent. So it's not absolute, but to a large extent, right? So a lot of patients, especially if you've created damages, one of the ways you create damage is by running your mouth online. People are now watching you. They're looking at you because of your rhetorics online, right? They can hear you. And if you get in a relationship if they get in a relationship with you, right? They're watching you and they're not going to give you that much grace. If you were quiet, you will get a lot more grace from your women. Let me tell you something. For those of us that have been doing it for a while, I've been doing it for 15 years, right? Married 15 years, been with my girl for 18 years, right? We get a lot of grace. We're not perfect, right? But it's easier to get grace when you don't run your mouth online. And now you keep running your mouth because I have videos to react to, right? But I'm warning you right now. If you run your mouth and you find a girl in this space, God help you find a girl, you're going to have a lot less grace because she's going to judge you even further with the way you judge. Remember that verse in the Bible? With the same measure that you judge, that's how you're going to be judged. You're going to need grace in relationships. You're going to need to move in faith. You're going to need a lot of grace. Sometimes you're going to get away with just doing the wrong thing. She's going to get away with doing the wrong thing too. There's no perfect relationship. We're enjoying it because we enjoy a lot of grace and back and forth. You thought people were just being held accountable and they're perfect. You're full of shit. If you haven't realized that yet, see people that don't give themselves grace, you know where they end up? In the divorce court. They become clients to the TLA.
About leadership is that you can't have it both ways. Either you want all of the glory or you don't want none of it. And men want the glory.
If you're trying to be the leader, right?
They eat it. They want sexiness. They want all of the benefits that come along with having control and leadership and determining. And we often say, and we quote it all the time, men control access to marriage. Okay, well, if you want all of that, then you got to take what comes with it. If you want all of the glory, then you also have to take.
So at this point, I said, why should I take all of that? Because it's highly rewarding. Did you hear what I just said? You're going to get a lot of grace. But you have to give it first. You have to sow those seeds first. But if you're so focused on holding women accountable, when you get with a girl, now you're actively trying to hold her accountable for every time she makes the wrong move. You're going to get the same energy back because you need grace too, right? Does that mean there's no set principles? It doesn't mean that. I'm saying all of that is even more effective when you lead with some grace. You move in faith and you lead with grace. And then whatever rules you want to set is even a lot more effective in that kind of space. You create the environment, you set the tone, and she builds the home, right? The dating pool is a function of you. Because again, like this young lady, Elle, over here, I don't know if that's her, but she said, you only need one woman. You only need one. Why are you worried about what percentage of black people, if you continue to worry about that, guess what you're going to attract? One of those. I know that doesn't make any sense. It's not scientific. It's physics. We need to calculate the physics and chemical calculations to get. See how you're hurting yourself, man. Life is really not that deep. It's really not that deep.
Responsibility that comes along with not being the thing not being the thing and not getting the results. It's easy. It's a very easy thing.
Shout out to Empress.
It's not easy. It's simple.
Right? Because I'm glad she's saying this, right? Because every time, this is the one topic. Every time
right.
we shift the goalpost. Because
so every time we accuse women of having the need to be right, they're nagging the end of sign language, but we end up doing it. Come on, gentlemen. Come on. We sit on the internet on panels and we do this. You go back to the same argument because you're just not trying to hear it. They move the goalpost. We need to hold women accountable. The dating pool is messed up because of these women. Really? Oh, actually, to be fair, he didn't say this woman. He said we need to talk about the women part. See, and there's a bunch of them. Content creators online, they claim that they're always talking to men, and it's only when we talk to women that you're calling those out. I'm yet to see one, okay? Even including Kevin Samuels, right? Kevin Samuels, he used to talk to. I know he did, but there's a reason why he didn't blow up at that time, right? Clearly, no one was paying attention, right? But anyway, right now, what do you know that's really holding men accountable without being called a simp? Even Kevin Samuel is being called a simp right now because he's saying, y'all are full of shit. I need to build a business. Right? You can't make this shit up. In the words of Kevin Samuels, right? So, gentlemen, we don't have enough space where we're holding ourselves accountable. We can't tolerate it. We're nagging more. Okay, we're shaming, insulting, guilt stripping, and nagging more. Okay, especially the young ones. Actually, that's not fair. There are old divorced ones that are doing the same thing. They pull out all this data and they just need to prove a point. They rather prove a point than actually build successful relationships. And these are your struggles. But we're going to keep having the conversation. We're going to figure this out, gentlemen.